All right, back in the basement again today to talk about this barbell, which is one I've been chasing after for quite some time and is by far the most expensive bar I've ever bought, which is saying a lot because I've owned hundreds of barbells in my lifetime, which is amazing and sad. Maybe it's amazingly sad. But anyways, this bar is very similar to a bar I did a review on a year or two ago, and that's the Ivanko OBXS-20KG barbell. Great bar overall. Kind of expensive, as is most things Ivanko tend to be. They are more what I consider a legacy brand for the most part, meaning that oftentimes people think of them as vintage, when in reality they've made a lot of great stuff and still do to this day. But a lot of these stuff people chase are their plates, and in some cases their bars, which are all made in the USA. Now this one in particular, this is the Ivanko OBXS 29 millimeter 20 kg bar. There's a lot of letters and numbers in there, but basically what this comes down to, it's very similar to the bar I had before that I still own, but this is the stainless steel version, which to my knowledge has not been commercially available for at least 5 years. So in the 5 or 6 years since I've been looking for it, it's never been in stock on the website, and it continues to be out of stock and now doesn't even have a price. I don't think it's ever going to come back necessarily. So I always keep my eyes out to see if anyone is ever going to let one of these go, because they're just not that many out there these days. And I was surprised enough to see this listed on the Home Gym Discord, which I've talked about numerous times on this channel, for a price tag used of $1,200. Definitely not one I'm going to tell the wife about, and luckily she doesn't watch these videos, but I had to jump on it just because, again, they are not readily available. I haven't seen any in years, and $1,200, while sounding expensive, is actually less than what the bar was retailing for, and you can actually find it on the Iron Company's website right now, listed for like $12.99. It says in stock. It is not in stock. I told them that, and they said, oh yeah, we'll fix it, and they never did. So you can't buy this bar right now, so $1,200 for a bar that I haven't seen in a long time was worth the buy in my case, just because I'm trying to refine my bar collection. And this was one of the ones that I would consider a grail bar. Now, one of the things going into this that I knew, despite the price was very expensive, I knew it was going to be expensive regardless, was that this is not a very aggressive barbell. I have the black oxide version. It's not aggressive. I have heard from people who knew this bar specifically, because there's that few of them that people know which ones are available and coming onto the market, that this one was even a more passive version. So I will show you some close-up of the knurls. In my opinion, the knurl actually looks okay from a close-up perspective. And in use, I've been able to squat, deadlift, bench with this with no issues. But if you are a knurl diva, which I have been in certain circumstances when it comes to certain bars, this is probably not the bar for you. The thing I can equate it to the most is probably the original style American barbell power bars, which everyone praised for their build quality, their durability, everything except for the knurling being a bit passive for a power bar. And I agree that this is very passive knurling. Now, the actual TPI, or teeth per inch, is very high, which means the actual knurling is very compact, which does make it somewhat grippy. But again, because it is so compacted together, it is not going to bite. And while it does offer some stick, I think most people would consider this a passive barbell, especially when you consider the price. Now, Ivanko does a lot of things, or at least they advertise a lot of things, which other companies don't, like mag testing, sonic testing, straightness testing to within like 1/10,000th of an inch or something like that. So a lot of marketing hype around it. I don't know if that means much for the most part. The mag and sonic testing have to do with actually basically x-raying the bar, taking a look at it. Again, marketing words, not my own. I'm not a meteorologist by any means, but supposedly that's to kind of look at the composition of the bar to make sure there's no defects within the steel for potential snapping and breaking, which no one would want when using a barbell. So build quality wise, the thing is top notch. It's what you'd expect. Again, very similar to the bar I already own, but in this case, it is in stainless steel. One of the things that I mentioned in my other video about this version of the bar that I had already was that I liked it because it's actually a little bit wider, about an inch or so wider on the shaft, which makes a big difference if you're squatting in a rack that's like 49 inches wide, like a Rogue one. It gives you just a little bit extra buffer that I really like. It does have like traditionally thicker collars, has those nice chrome end caps on the end as well. So overall, the bar is very similar. Just the fact that it's stainless steel, it's very rare, and that's about it. So I just want to make a quick video on it, number one, so I can write this off as a tax write-off, hopefully, because this is for the channel. It's part of the business. At $1,200, tax deductible, I hope, maybe, we'll see, it's worth a shot. But also because there's not any really videos on this. Like when I look at barbells that are higher end or not as readily available, I always try to see what's out there just to get like reviews and just people's thoughts on them. This was not one I really was able to find. So overall, like I said, it's a great solid bar, really good build quality, what you expect. The knurl is pretty passive. It is stainless steel, but again, it is just that rare aspect that I wanted to get with this particular one. And I know there are probably better copies of this out there, but this one is mine, and those ones aren't for sale. And if they are, they'd probably be more than $1,200 as well. Let me know what you think about this bar or grail bars in general. What bar are you searching for that you haven't been able to find? In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching and stay big. Woo!